Hello, Dave.
Hello, Ian.
Welcome, everyone, to Apex Adjacent. We have tricked yet another person into joining us. This person, this has been a very long time coming.
Yes.
It's so long.
It is Adam, who is one half of the 1010s podcast, which is, I think, sort of our sister podcast. Like, we started right around the same time, and we've kind of circled around each other for however long we've been doing this nonsense.
Yes.
We've watched them get way more successful than we are.
Well, I genuinely have no clue how. I think we do have a little bit better numbers, and I don't know why or how. I guess it's just luck. But I've listened to you guys. I've been listening to you guys for like the better part of most of your show. I think I found you in the low 40s, and I have a pretty good amount of podcast time that I can devote, and I always listen to you guys every Friday morning on my way to work.
Oh, thanks, man.
I have an hour. I have an hour commute, and I never miss a show. So,
well, thank you.
Well, hopefully at the end of this, whoever listens to our show who doesn't listen to your show, I'm sure there's like one or two people, we'll have a better idea of what your show is about. And I think we can get it. We can kind of kick that off right now.
Okay.
Adam, what right now, as you sit here, is the current ratio of working cars to broken cars in your possession?
Let me think here. How many do I own?
While he's thinking, Ian, how many broken to working cars do you have?
I have no broken cars.
And
right
two
now.
working cars.
Right now. I mean, it is snowing outside right now, so I might, by the time I wake up, I might have a broken car.
Okay, I have 0 broken cars and 2 working cars. Adam?
Yes.
I have 5 total. And as of literally this afternoon, I'm down to 1 working one.
What is the working one?
It's a 2001? No, 2002. I don't know. It's that generation Cavalier. It's my super work beater.
Yeah.
It's literally my $600 beater with a heater. It's a real pile of garbage, but I have a very special place in my heart for Chevy Cavaliers. When I was in high school, I had a Lambo doored and body kitted Chevy Cavalier.
Wait, I'm sorry. Lambo door. Yeah, we're going to Google to look for Lambo Cavaliers.
So, what job did you work to afford the Lambo kit, the Lambo door kit? And what were you supposed to pay for with your job that you didn't?
How did you get away with selling cocaine as a 16-year-old?
I think that people radically overestimate the cost of Lambo. So I didn't even pay that much for mine. I'm going to be honest with you. So I was in high school like 2006-ish. I'm a few years younger than you guys. And so I have always been in cars. My family, like I was born into them. It's always been a thing in my family. My dad made a 5-hour road trip to pick up an engine today. So like that's what we do, right?
Okay.
And so I worked at a dealership, a local dealership in high school, a GM dealership. And so I was going through high school in like the height of the Fast and the Furious craze, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And so I got my Cavalier. So the second one down there that you've got, Dave, the yellow one, same body kit as I had.
Okay.
Mine was black. Was black. But I found a set.
No, I'm sorry, that wing. Oh my god!
No, I didn't have the wing. I never had the wing.
Doors Incorporated.
So I found a set of the Lambo door hinges that were specific for the Cavalier Sunfire. They were direct bolt-ons for like $400 on eBay.
Oh, okay.
And obviously immediately pulled the trigger on that.
No hesitation. Add to cart.
None at all. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. Without a doubt, no hesitation, the best car mod I ever made. And I have talked more than one friend in the last year into buying their own to put them on their cars, which they race. Like full on race cars, like not street legal cars in any way, Lambo doors.
So I have two things. So first thing, my wife, when I first met her, had this generation Cavalier, and I have to say I hated that car.
That's fine.
However,
you should have.
This vastly improves it.
It does. It does. It does.
It shouldn't work, but it does.
Here's what so I've spent a lot of time thinking about Lambo doors, right? So to me, the only way that Lambo hinges work is if it's a car with a door frame, or a window frame.
Mhm.
Right? They can't be like
No Subarus.
240 SXs, Subarus, my Audi TT. Those didn't have window frames, right? So it's got to have those, and it has to curve from top to bottom of door. So it has to have a curve to it, so that when they're up and you're looking at them from the front, the doors look like they're kind of coming up and over the car. That's when it's the most on point.
Okay. All right.
So,
that's very Batman. Okay.
I've spent way too much time thinking about this.
Like this right here, where they're coming up and over.
That angle, man, it's killer.
So I've never spent time with anybody who was like a Lambo door evangelist.
I
sympathizer.
Like that.
Okay.
I like that. Yeah.
And because I've always heard that they were just like they're very heavy, and they're gonna make it so your car leaks.
So the ones I had, they would swing open a ways to clear like the door pin, right? And then they would swing up, and it was actually adjustable as to how far open you could make them. You could actually open them up as far as factory almost. Now, obviously, I had them adjusted just far enough that they would clear, and then you had to lift them up. And it took me many hours to get them adjusted to the point where they worked okay-ish.
Okay.
And I remember specifically in high school, like, it was kind of a cool car at the time. The way I had done it up, I had a pretty big. I was huge into stereo stuff, so I had a pretty decent sized stereo in it.
Yeah.
Some nice wheels. The body kit, it was well fitted. It was actually painted, which is a very rare thing in the body kit world,
Right.
especially in the mid 2000s. And so, like, it was my chick magnet, if you will, I guess.
Podcast listeners, please note he's doing air quotes.
Heavy air quotes. Chick magnet, right? But whenever a girl
Lambo
would
air
ride
quotes.
with me, right? Whenever a girl would ride with me, I would always open and close the door for her, right?
Well, that's just chivalry.
He's such a gentleman. Like, no, I just don't want you to hurt my car, and it's really easy to do. And like, even most of my friends, my male friends, I'll do the same thing for. But it's fine. You can think that I'm doing this for you. It's fine. So,
Gotcha.
If you rode with me a lot, I would train you on how to open and close them. But otherwise, I just did it myself.
That's what I've always said doors were lacking as a training program.
And that's what I always wanted as a passenger, to feel like I was held hostage.
I don't remember who told me. Opening was easy. Opening was pretty easy. It was closing that was the trick. But I don't remember who told me or where I heard this from. But if a car is truly fun, it takes at least 15 minutes to explain to somebody how to operate and drive it. And pretty much every car I've ever owned really fits into that really well.
Yeah.
Ian's R32 problems pale in comparison to some of the things I deal with on a very regular basis. So
I don't doubt it.
So give us the fleet. Give us the other 4 cars that are not running right now.
Before you do that, I just one last thought on the Cavalier, because
yes, please.
Because the thing that when you were describing the dark days of the Bush administration just then, I was just thinking of like the automotive equivalent of, when you would go see your grandparents and they would say something, let's be honest, racist, and your parents would be like, and your reflex as someone of our generation would be to try to correct them,
right?
And your parents would be like, they're from a different time.
Right.
I feel like you showing your grandkids a picture of this with the stereo, there's going to have to be like your son or whatever is going to have to be like, he's from a different time.
Well,
they didn't know better back then.
There was a man named Vin Diesel.
You say that, but it's coming back, man. So like, so I'm pretty actively involved with a group called Grid Life.
Right.
And like I have lots of friends who run it. I'm pretty good friends with the people that run the events themselves. This year I'll probably be at every single one of them. Years past, I make it to most of them. And Underglow's coming back.
Yeah.
I've seen that. Yeah.
It's
Yep.
cool again. There's lots of Grid Life, like the most serious competition race cars you've ever seen in your life. The 90s shitbox Civics that have $100,000 worth of like legitimately in development and parts and time put into making these cars as fast as they can be, and then they've got Underglow on them or Lambo doors on them or whatever. Like, this is the people I hang out with, right? And so it's coming back, and so you can say what you want, but it's coming back, and I couldn't be more excited.
Lambo doors, the Jinko jeans of the car world.
I get probably like at least once a month, I'll get someone who will send me a Facebook or Craigslist ad for Cavalier Sunfire Lambo doors because everybody wants them to return on my daily. Which,
Sure.
if my daily was even kind of in good shape, I would more seriously entertain the idea. But it's a real hunk of junk. So
Okay. Well,
but it
like
is the only
Dave-
one running. So knock on wood.
Well, like Dave was saying, we should probably go through the rest of the fleet because you have
Okay.
at least one in
So-
particular that's pretty awesome.
Bear in mind, I do have a significant other and a 5-year-old.
Right.
So we do have to have some level of normalcy in our lives. Try as I might not to. So we have what just returned to me on a tow truck not 5 minutes ago, a 98 Chevy Blazer.
Okay. Okay.
Because apparently I love that generation of GM product.
Is it the 2-door or 4?
It's the 4-door.
Okay. All right.
The 4-door, 4-wheel drive, 4.3 liter. It has the most insane option list of any vehicle I've ever owned. And we talked about this on my podcast, like, I don't know, 3 years ago, probably. But like inflation adjusted price for that vehicle is like $48,000 for the one I have.
Okay. Okay.
Because it's full leather, heated seats,
Oh.
fancy sound system, power seats, everything. For a 98 anything, that's reasonably impressive. But for a GM product, that's a real step above the rest. So
Yeah. As much as I hate
most
the
of
big-
it still works, which is I think also impressive. But yeah.
I
It had
was
a charging
just going to
problem.
say, as much as I like get like a twitch every time I see those big stupid plastic buttons for the radio and shit from that era
Yes.
GM, like the Blazers and the Suburbans from that era,
the Tahoes.
the range that you could get, and especially the trucks of like from just bare bones, go down the road and that's it, to like optioning up, was really pretty crazy back then.
Well, not to skip around too much, but I also have a 2000 or 2001 S10, just the truck version of the Blazer.
I like that you don't even know the years of these.
Yeah.
Well, so they span a range, so it doesn't really matter, like it could be anywhere between 98 and 2004, and it looks exactly the same.
Well, yeah.
So
but-
mine's the Extreme with an X, no E.
Oh yeah, I remember
yeah.
those. Yeah,
I used to work with someone who had one of those.
So it's got the body kit on it. It's
Yeah.
lower 2 inches. It's 2 inches lower than
Here's a stock one.
Stock one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So mine looks exactly like that. Except mine's white and I don't have the step side, but mine is bone stock from the outside, factory wheels and everything.
Okay.
But that one, so it's cloth seats, power nothing. It doesn't even have a tilt steering column in it. It's just is what it is, there's no like rear defrost. There's no nothing on it. It's as bare bones as it can possibly be, with the exception of the Extreme package.
and what's wrong with this one?
There's a
what's-
hole in There's a hole in there's a very large viewing window on the side of the block because it may or may not have a turbo hanging off the side of it.
And so you experienced detonation, the bad kind.
No, so gosh, this is a story. So I bought it as a project with the motor in the bed, right?
Okay.
It had already been turboed. The previous owner of it had turboed it. It's a kit. It's a I don't remember who makes it. Doesn't matter. Somebody makes a kit and it's bolt in. It's a very bolt in affair. It's really a brilliant piece of design as far as like bolt in turbo systems are concerned. It's the 2.2 liter, not the 6. It's the 4-cylinder, not the 6-cylinder. And so it's kind of a brilliant little piece. But we found out when I started digging into what he had a fuel injector clog and burned a hole through like piston or cylinder 2 or something like that. And so he started tearing it down to rebuild it and then lost interest in the project. And I bought it in a pile of parts. And as cheaply as possible tried to put it back together. So rather than having it go to a machine shop and be like bored out 20 or 40 over and putting new pistons in it, I just ran a ball hone through each cylinder and threw stock sized pistons back in it. And it was very loose, to say the least. And when it went into boost, it would blow oil out of everything. Because I think I had a ton of blow by.
Yeah, that's not
so
good.
I was basically pressurizing the crankcase.
Yeah. Was it fast?
I wouldn't use that word,
Right, because that's just losing power when you're doing that.
well,
right?
so it only ever made like 9 psi, so it wasn't like a huge thing.
Gotcha.
It was a totally factory tune. It used what's called a rising rate fuel pressure regulator to increase fuel pressure, and then the truck itself uses what's called MAP sensors for air fuel ratio. So the computer can adjust for that extra air by itself pretty well, as long as you don't get above the like 14 pound area, the 1 bar area. It handles that pretty well already. So I'm certain that there was a lot of power that was available if I would have had it tuned, but it never, it wasn't necessary. And so I never did that because I was working on an extreme budget here, a very, very small one. Because I'm an idiot. And I could have just put it back together and left the turbo kit off of it, but my dad suggested that many times over when we were rebuilding it together, and I steadfastly said no, and could not allow him to be right on that. And when it goes back together, it will absolutely still be there, but I'm going to do it a little bit more correctly this time.
Okay.
But yeah.
We skipped. Why isn't the Blazer running?
So
did you turbo that as well?
No, actually, that's as stock as I can keep it, right? Because it's my wife's daily driver.
Okay.
And so she needs something to just like get my kid to school, right? And be trouble free. That hasn't worked out for me well, but that's the theory. So I was in Bowling Green, Kentucky this weekend at the National Corvette Museum and the racetrack that's attached to it. And I was coming home today with my friends and she calls me and she says, "Hey, all the gauges are just laying at the bottom. Like they're just flopped to 0, all the gauges." And I was like,
car
okay,
got sleepy.
Well, I was like, cool. Well, is it doing it? Like, no, it seems to be running fine. Like, well, keep on keeping on.
Hammer down.
She went and stayed with her dad this weekend because that's usually what she does. She'll go stay with a family member when I'm out of town. So she stayed with her dad this weekend. She was headed home. She got like another 10 miles down the road after she had called me the first time. She calls me back. She goes, "Yeah, it started sputtering real bad. I pulled off on an exit. I made it to the top of the exit and it died." Okay. And now it doesn't even like when I hit the key, it just clicks. Nothing's happening. Sweet. The alternator died on it. That's easy. I've put an alternator on it already once before. They're really not that hard to put on.
Sure.
It's the same alternator that's on my S10 and my Cavalier because GM is great like that. So I just, we were like 5 minutes away from where my car was left for the weekend when she called me the second time. So I hopped in my car. She's like an hour and a half away from me. Stopped halfway at my house to get tools and bought an alternator at the parts store and flew up there, swapped the alternator. I like literally took me 10 minutes to put an alternator on it. It's super easy. That didn't fix it.
Oh no. Okay.
So it's 65. It was 65 miles away from my house. And my, so I use State Farm for my insurance, and they have some sort of roadside assistance package. They struggled for a while to find somebody who was willing to drive it all the way to my house. And they're like, "Are you sure you don't want it just dropped off at a shop?" Like, no, I'm not even convinced I'm going to fix this thing at this point. Like, I need it back at my house. So they finally found someone, and he dropped it off just right before we started here. So it's got a brand new alternator in it. That didn't fix it. So I've got a few other options, but I didn't have any of the tools to troubleshoot it at the top of an exit in the middle of nowhere.
Right. Yeah. I'm sure you didn't feel like pulling a fuel pump like right in the middle of that. Yeah.
No, I know it's charging system related. And the charging system on that truck is very, very simple. I just got to dive into it and make sure that, that the truck is telling the voltage regulator to work and that things like that. And then the last time I put an alternator on it, the first alternator I got from the parts store was DOA. And so maybe I have the same situation this time around too. I don't know. So we'll just see what happens. I don't have good luck I do not have good luck with new alternators. I have an old guy who's like, I think 99 years old, and he owns an automotive electronics shop, and he just rebuilds alternators and starters and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
And like, that's the guy I should take it to, but I don't have time for that because it could be 2 days, it could be 2 months. You just don't know with him, right?
God.
And so I'm just going to keep throwing alternators in it until it fixes it, I guess. But I don't know. We'll figure it out.
I don't want to pry, but I'm going to.
Please.
Talk us through your automotive decisions leaving your wife stranded at the top of an exit ramp for 2 hours.
No, I didn't. We took, my Cavalier was filled with my Cavalier was filled with spare parts for my Cavalier, as one does.
Yeah.
And so I took all of those things out and put them in the back of the Blazer to make room for our 2 dogs, our 5-year-old, and all of the stuff that they were traveling with in the Blazer. Moved them into the Cavalier and then brought them all home and just left the Blazer there with the keys in it because, I mean, if someone stole it, they'd be doing me a favor, And so
it'd be their problem.
I just left the keys in it, and the guy brought it home to me.
And no luck, it came home anyway.
Yeah,
sorry.
I don't pull keys out of it at night, and it's there every morning.
You got a Harry and the Hendersons that thing. You get.
Yeah. So, we're planning on buying. I had a minivan for a while. She blew that up too. Yeah, that was a deal. So, and then at the time that minivan blew up, the Blazer was also broken in my driveway. So we put a transmission in that, and I threw away the van, and she's been driving that for the last year and a half.
Okay.
And I think it's time to buy another minivan because minivans are the best.
Yes,
they are.
They're
Great.
They are fantastic. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to buy another 200,000 mile minivan, and it's going to be great.
Get the what was the Pontiac? What Silhouette is that?
No. So this time I'm going to be smart about this, right? I'm going to buy. It's either going to be a Honda Odyssey or a Toyota Sienna.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's
one
the
of the
default choice. Yeah.
I have a $5,000 budget, and I'm going to buy the best one that $5,000 will buy me.
Oh, check this out. Based on my recent search activity, Honda Odyssey Turbo Kit came up on Google.
Thank you, Google.
So most of my friends know that this is my plan right now, because I had already planned this before the Blazer failed me today. Buying this vehicle, we just haven't had time to find the right one yet.
Sure.
It hadn't been the priority, but now it is. But about like a couple weeks ago, one popped up semi-locally to me on Facebook Marketplace, an older Odyssey. He wanted I think he wanted $2,200 for it.
Oh,
So well within the budget. That he had custom modified some coilovers and put them on it, and then found some sort of strange JDM lip kit and just slammed the thing into the ground. And I was super into it.
yeah.
She was less so.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah.
But generally
I've
speaking,
seen a
that
slammed
doesn't
one
really
in
slow me
person.
down.
They look good. They look good.
Oh, I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. I think a slammed minivan would be great.
Now,
Yeah.
hear me out. Here's another possibility that I think would also look really good on a set of coilovers, even if it's not hard parked. Mazda 5. What about Mazda 5?
Yep. I was trying to get
So-
you to get one, Ian.
Yeah, because you can get it with a stick too.
She doesn't know how to drive a stick, and as much as I want to teach her, I want her to learn. I'm not the one who's going to teach her, because
Sometimes that's best kept to a third party in a relationship.
yes. I want to keep this as a happy relationship.
Yes.
We have a
Not
child,
like
and I'd
knocking
like to try
on
and
anyone.
stay together as long as I can.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
No.
But she really. Do those have sliding doors?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, she
Yes.
does.
Yeah. And guess
And
what?
They're a little smaller, you know.
Yeah.
I get that in the $5,000 range.
Oh,
I'm
yeah. I'm
sure
sure.
The other thing is, we really want.
we're going to Craigslist.
we we really want a 7-passenger option, because not that I have that many people, but she has friends somehow. I don't know how, and they like to go and do things together. And
Huh.
it would be nice if one of us had a vehicle large enough that we could do them in one vehicle. And,
Yeah,
and
that
although
is
I don't
that does
know,
not
it
seat
should be.
7.
I don't think it should be me that has the bigger vehicle for the group, because clearly I make poor decisions. But
Let me counterpoint that really quick, because
Uh-huh.
then tow rig.
also, that was why I bought the Blazer originally, was because I was going to put a dolly on the back of it and
Uh-huh.
tow the race car. I forgot I own a 6th vehicle of sorts that is now the tow rig.
You have cars like I have chapstick. Like, look at this one though.
It hasn't come to me yet.
Yeah,
so-
here we go.
Look at this.
Oh,
This is
see?
even a stick. Look, it says here, has a new clutch. Had a friend drive it for me. Just bought it for my family, but don't know how to drive stick, and I don't want to learn.
But
$3,000 American dollars. Look at that.
see, I think I make bad decisions, but at least I know how to drive the cars I buy.
Right.
Jesus.
Let's do a Mazda Speed 3 transplant into one of these things, and then just drop
I was going to say,
everyone.
maybe it's not the vehicle for her, but it could certainly be the vehicle for me.
that.
Does
I'm
that
kinda-
actually seat 7?
No,
This wouldn't be the worst daily driver
does.
for me.
it seats 7.
Oh yeah, it's got a 3rd row.
It's got a 3rd
I mean,
row.
that's
I didn't
2.
realize that.
So maybe more like it's seat
It's
6.
But
Yeah.
that's good enough.
Yeah, it's
Ye-
probably good enough.
At Grid
6
Life,
is
you could turn this into a little camper.
6 is a party, 7's too many.
I agree.
Well, see, I don't need a little camper because of the 6th vehicle I forgot I owned. It is an RV. So
Well, I'm sorry. You forgot
You
owned an
forgot.
RV?
Are you
Well, so I
are you
haven't-
part owner? Do you have an RV?
I mean, I know
timeshare?
Land's
No,
cheap in Iowa, but
I'm-
that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm full owner, but I haven't brought it home yet.
Why?
So
Is this a cash purchase that you made so it wouldn't show up on the account?
It was $100 purchase, yes. But no, I purchased it from my stepfather-in-law.
Oh.
It's been in the back in his
Okay.
yard for a while. And he just wanted the $100 worth of wood flooring he had purchased to put in it back out of it. It's not put in it. It's just in it, like in boxes still, right?
Wow.
As one does. I believe it is a 79 Ford of some kind.
Okay.
It's carbureted. It's carbureted, which is going to be a problem. Yep, that's That's it.
This is it, isn't it?
It's one of those that like it's on a van chassis.
Yeah.
It's one of those that you sleep over, like it's got a bed over the cab
Yep.
and everything like that. It's got a generator on it. The generator runs.
Oh, okay.
We're pretty sure the air conditioner works. We're not sure the state of the plumbing or the fridge, which I don't really care about because it's
Yeah.
only going to racetracks which have their own plumbing. Worst case, we just don't use the bathroom in it.
Yeah, the rule is nobody poops in the RV, right?
Right.
And
No
how
number
many
twos on
different
the
colors
bus.
of brown is yours?
There's not enough, frankly. Also, it's mine's also. I think the stripe is that 70s orange.
Yes.
Oh, even better.
And then he, for some reason, wanted to pull out the shag and put wood flooring in there. I feel that I won't be doing that.
No, you want
it
50
needs-
years of whatever dead skin cells and
It
whatever
needs
else.
deep
bullshit.
cleaning, but if I can save it, I'm going to.
Yeah, no, you need Weed Shake from the 70s riding around in that car with you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a good environment for my 5-year-old to play at Hot Wheels with.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's not a good and plenty you found on the floor. It's a Quaalude.
I think that's how you keep up his immune system, right? That's what they say. You're
Yeah.
supposed to let your kids play in the dirt a little bit, right?
Uh-huh.
You'll be
Yeah.
fine.
It's science.
What's
Okay.
the worst that can happen?
All right, so we have your Sunfire Cavalier, your Cavalier.
Yes, my
right?
Cavalier,
You have your Blazer.
the
you have-
Blazer.
You have
the
your
S10.
extreme
It's
truck.
extreme, yes.
Okay, all right.
And then
got the RV.
I'm going to save the
And I
best
just want to
for
point out
last.
we've gone through 4 vehicles, no exact year for any of them yet. Okay, go ahead.
The next one is a 2005 Ford Focus.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. A very
Which-
practical vehicle.
which
Why is that not
was-
running?
It was Katie's daily
Sure.
for a long time. And then we were down to one car and she doesn't work. So it was my daily for a while.
Okay.
And one day, this was probably like 3 years ago. I should get rid of this. There's a reason why there's a reason why it's in my driveway. We'll get there. A few years ago, I was driving home and it was like legit -30 here. Right?
Okay, yeah.
So it was a good day for a car failure. And I had one. I was just driving down the road, minding my own business, and all of a sudden the engine just killed.
Okay.
Just off. And I coasted to a stop and it would turn over, but it never fired again. Turns out that I think one of the cams had broke or something silly. I don't remember. And it's an interference motor, so it was donezo. And then I sold that to my aforementioned stepfather-in-law for $100, and
So-
he put a motor in it.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
guys are just passing the same $100 around and just
No,
trading broken
No, because
cars.
then I bought it back from him for $500 after he put the motor in it.
You're bad at money laundering.
And I drove it for one day, and then the transmission shit out on me.
Oh,
No.
And
how
now
did you
it's-
not light it on fire immediately?
And so it's sitting in my driveway. And the reason that it hasn't left my possession is because when it was paid off, the bank sent the title to my mother-in-law. And
Oh,
between
boy.
the time that happened and today, she got married and moved in with her new husband. And no one knows where the title is.
I don't want to
It's
alarm
not
you,
hard
Adam,
to-
but your
it's
life
not
is like a
hard.
logistical nightmare.
It's not hard to get a title. I just haven't done it yet. But
There's
is
like
a
red yarn everywhere on these car stories. This is like a Charlie and It's Always Sunny in
There's-
Philadelphia. There's a
there's a
Focus, a Jinko jeans, and a Chevy Extreme, and
yeah.
Vin Diesel.
There is a piece of paper on my kitchen table right now that's half filled out. That is the title, like recovery form or whatever, to get the replacement.
Sure.
And I'm so the transmission just won't go into overdrive. So as long
Okay.
as you drive it in town, it's fine. And it does start. And so I'm going to call my insurance agency tomorrow and put insurance back on it so my girlfriend can take my kid to school until I fix the Blazer. Because that seems like a good idea in my head.
Okay. When you show up at the DMV, does everyone just like not it?
Klaxons are going off. He's here, guys.
When I was,
We're all on
when I
break.
was,
We're all on break.
when I was in high school, my dad could like buy a car and hand me the title and send me to the DMV in the county that we lived in, and I would just walk in there and be like, "Hey, Sharon," and she'd be like, "Oh, what'd your dad buy this time? Like, here's the title for it," and she would just give me the registration, and I would pay for it with a check that he gave me, and then I would take it back home because that was.
That's the automotive equivalent of like sending the kid in like the 50s to go get cigarettes from the corner shop, right?
Yeah, but I went and got license plates for the new car.
Yeah. So that's 5 out of 6.
Yes, which is funny because we added one in there. And so I saved the best for last. It's also not running. I own all the parts to fix it. I just haven't taken the time. So the last one is my fun car. It is a 1984 Dodge Omni GLH.
I was going to say there's very important letters at the end of that. And
Yes,
why
it's a GLH.
is that? What's the GLH? Give us the deal.
So this is funny. This is the first year of GLH. So it is not the turboed one.
Okay.
Oh, interesting.
That didn't come out until 86, where you got the turbo version, and then also the GLH, which was the GLH-T, and then there's also the GLH-S, which was the Shelby special editions.
Gotcha. Okay.
So the first 2 years that they made the GLH was it was a hopped up version of the naturally aspirated motor in the base model.
Okay.
And it did not have like the body kit, if you will, package around it. So it looks, with the exception of the sticker package on the back, it looks the same as a base model. So mine originally made 110 horse at the crank, and it was an interesting car, but it wasn't quite as wild as the turbo cars that everybody's more familiar with.
Sure. Okay.
So and then mine, basically, since like if I understand this correctly, I'm second owner. The previous owner, very tragically, is not with us anymore.
Okay.
And so I bought it from his family.
Okay.
And so I've kind of pieced together some of the history through, because it's a very, very like locally famous autocross car.
Oh, okay.
And even somewhat nationally famous, which is strange. And so I've kind of pieced together the story. I believe that it has been a full-time, not street-driven race car since like 1990 or so.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my car right there, that picture. So it's caged.
Okay.
It's pretty hopped up. It, instead of making 110 horse at the crank, it makes 115 horse at the wheels and 135 foot-pounds of torque.
Okay.
Which is pretty impressive, because the class it was built for, you're not allowed to, like, it's the factory cam, it's the factory displacement, it's roughly the factory compression, so there's not a lot you can change. Intake and exhaust are wide open, so those things have obviously been changed. It's got a pair of downdraft Weber carburetors on it, which strangely enough have been the single most reliable thing about that car.
Okay.
So it's kind of a riot. It's the race wheel and tire package is a 13x10 with Hoosiers.
Okay.
So they're pretty sticky.
You've got a. I'm sorry, people who are listening to audio only won't be able to see this, but your inside rear tire is off the ground here, so it does.
It will dramatically pick up the inside back tire. That's not even in that picture. It's not even that high.
And I'm guessing it's like a solid.
It's a stick rear axle, McPherson strut stick rear axle. So it's a pretty basic suspension setup, which is kind of a bum deal. It's very Mark I Golf-esque.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like to the point where even though I own one, that's hilarious that the picture of my car is on this random website.
On Supercars Gallery.
That is hilarious.
Your little hatchback adorable Omni.
I'm so confused by that. But
Uh-huh.
okay.
Yeah.
It was like if I see a Golf from a distance, I'm not sure if it's a Golf or an Omni until I get closer. That's how
Sure.
similar they are.
Yeah.
The biggest defining feature, which is not foolproof, is that there are no two-door Omnis.
Okay.
Oh,
So if you see a two-door, it is a Golf. If you see a four-door, could be either.
Okay. Okay.
So I bought this car. Gosh, it's been almost 10 years now. Man, I'm getting old.
it happens.
But,
Life comes at you fast, Adam.
oh, man,
that
let me
pause,
tell
that pause was emotions and thought and introspection that Adam just
unfortunately-
went through.
Unfortunately, it's
Welcome
been
to our
broken
show.
for almost half of that. So,
So what's
It
wrong
ran
with
from-
it?
so it's got to distribute. It's got.
I feel like the title
right?
of this episode just needs to be "World Weary Sigh."
Yeah. Sorry. But
It's
you
got a
came on our
distributor, so
podcast
yeah.
with
Yeah, no,
5
you're
out of
right.
6 broken cars.
So the amount of shit I get from my listeners is never ending. So
Well,
this
this is a
pretty
safe
used to it.
place. We're going to lightly rid you.
yeah,
and
I'm
that's about
very used to it.
it. Okay. Okay.
But it's still got a distributor setup in it. It's old enough that that's still a thing, right?
Sure.
It's not like coil packs
Coil
and
packs,
stuff like that. And it's been upgraded, so it has a more modern electronic parts inside of it, made by a company called Mallory. It's called a Unilite, and instead of being like physical electrical contact points that tells it to spark as the distributor's spinning, it's literally an LED and a sensor and then a wheel spinning inside of that. And every
okay.
time there's an opening, it'll tell it to fire. Right.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And that little piece of equipment, even though it's a very popular thing in the hot rodding world, and they've probably sold, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of them, have been nothing but problematic for me. And so my kid was born. He turned 5 years old like a month ago. My kid was born, and it ran for like the first year that he was around, and then we lost most of our local autocross venues. So we were down to only having like one venue, and it is a local amusement park
Okay.
parking lot. And so we can only have it like the first and last events of the year. And those are usually the events I didn't run that car at anyway, because it's carbureted and I have Hoosiers, and it was always cold because I live in hell. And so it was just never the priority to fix it.
Gotcha.
It was, it's literally like $200 worth of parts, but it was just never the priority to fix it because I didn't have anything to do with it. And, so I just decided to more focus on trying to be a parent and stuff like that for a while. I have the parts now in my possession. We've picked up a few more autocross locations, and I've kind of transitioned to being more of wanting to do the track stuff, although I don't think this is the right car for it because it's got tiny little brakes on it because they clear 13s.
Right.
So,
But it probably
we'll
will
see.
thing, right? I mean,
So it's a full interior car because that's what the class requires.
Oh, okay.
But so this car was built to be the very tippy, like the very pointy end of the class that it is built for at the time that it was built in the early 90s. And I think that the previous owner managed to get 2 SCCA solo national championships with it, which is a huge deal.
that is
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
So it's a super fast car, and there's a ton of really trick bits in there, and there's a ton of crazy things. So the requirement is that the carpet is in there. So he pulled the carpet out, cut all of the sound deadening off the underside of the carpet,
Right.
put it back in there because that weighed 3 pounds, and he was trying to shave that out. So with me in it, and I weigh like 170 ish. haven't stepped on a scale recently, but
I don't recommend it. I don't recommend it.
No, COVID hasn't been nice.
In
to me, so
COVID times, the ish is a lot bigger.
It's a-
range.
Yep.
It's a heavy-
we all get a
heavy
pass
itch.
for like the next 2 years. It's fine. It's fine. We'll stop
So-
eating carbs someday.
I'm never gonna stop eating carbs. But with me in it a few years ago, back when it still ran, it was like 2470 or something like that.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
With the cage in it, and a half tank of gas. So
Wow.
the cage is more of like a structural strengthening,
Sure.
keep the body from folding in on itself cage than it is a safety cage. It does have door bars, but I don't think that it would pass any form of like real wheel to wheel competition tech.
Right.
Gotcha.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, that's not what it's for. So
That's super cool though.
Yeah, that's an awesome
the craziest
little
little
car.
car. I have embarrassed many a car with that. It punches way above its weight level.
Yeah.
You can basically just put your foot to the floor and toss it into corners, and somehow it will come back out of it. It's surprisingly oversteery. It's set up so
Okay.
that as you throw it into a corner and you lift, the back end will just come right around, and then you hammer on it again, and it straightens out, and off you go again. It's a really nice thing about having a well set up front wheel drive car is that you can do that sort of stuff with it, and it works really well. It took me a really long time to get good at it,
Right.
but once you figure it out, it's incredibly fun to drive. It's a super fast, surprisingly silly car, and like Ian pointed out, that back tire will almost always be off the ground if it's turning,
That's
the inside one. So I'm pretty sure you could roll a soccer ball under it at full lift. So it's pretty ridiculous.
That's fantastic. I love it. I love it. I love the color. It's like light beige brown. It's perfect with those meaty meats. It just looks so good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
And there's one other detail about it. And Dave, you go into the Dave Don't Look folder.
Oh, sure.
And go to plate the what's called plate 1. We can see the back of the car.
Oh, okay. All right.
So I have a propensity for customized license plates. I think they're fantastic. I will absolutely agree with you guys that people abuse their ability to get them. There's no doubt about that.
True.
But I love them, and so my fun cars have always had them.
Okay.
This being no different. So there it is. You tell me.
This says "Go Like Hell."
Yes. So GLH stands for Go Like Hell, right? And then the S, if you have the Shelby, is supposed to be Goes Like Hell Some More.
Okay.
Which I don't know. It's kind of dumb, but
Almost
I
there.
love the license plate.
Uh-huh.
I think it's hilarious.
I like it. It's on
I
brand.
like it now that you've explained it to me, but as we've established on this show, I have like brain worms, and I did not. I was like, Golical?
You're thinking like Adam,
Go
some kind of
lick,
weird
go
goth. Like,
Go lick
Yeah.
hole?
yeah. Ian,
Going into the DMV and like asking for a license plate that's okay. So I don't know. You guys probably have never gone through this in your
Nope.
life, but you
Walk us
have to
through it.
explain to them. You have to
Right.
explain to them what it means.
right.
Which I have some questions for some people, because like there's a kid
Yep.
in Des Moines with an Evo that says please PLZ B, just the letter B, 1.8.
Please.
Oh.
be-
Oh, no. Oh.
wait.
Please
Yes,
be
Dave.
18.
Yes, Dave.
Oh
Yes.
God. Oh no. Yeah. There was.
Oh yes.
There was one that we saw. Or
I sent the Camaro to you guys.
Yes,
that was also incredibly inappropriate.
God.
These are
disgusting.
gross, man.
People
But
are
how do
disgusting.
What did he put to explain that?
Exactly.
And-
oh
and
yeah.
how are they like? Yeah, sure. Because they do censor those to some extent.
Yeah.
And so like I was really worried. I was like, this says hell on it. I don't know how picky they are.
Right.
She just laughed at it and was like, oh, this is funny, and sent it through. And so it wasn't a big deal. But that it's always been that. The previous owner had that same plate. Yeah, that's the
There's the
Camaro.
IN 18.
IN 18. I
Yeah.
can't come up
What did
with
you
anything
explain?
that's not terrible.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. right? Did they just like say like sports on it or something, like it's someone's number or something? Yeah, I don't know. Okay, but Go Like Hell. Okay, so you explained it.
So I just told her, the car is a GLH. GLH stands for Go Like Hell. That's the license plate. And she just kind of giggled at me and sent it through. So that was no big deal, thankfully. Okay. But I like them when they're used properly.
Well then we need to talk about the second one, because I
think that you may understand it better now that I've explained my fleet, the second one.
Okay, so the second plate.
I think Ian's studying it and trying to figure it out.
It's for your extreme truck. Okay.
It's for the S10.
Yes.
Oh, it's for the S10. Oh,
yeah. Yes, it's on the S10. Iowa requires front license plates, so that's the front side of it.
Yeah, WAAPSH.
So it's turbo noises.
Yes.
Okay.
So I thought it was clever.
I agree.
I put the loudest blow off valve that I could on it.
Nice.
Because when in Rome.
Yeah, turbo noises are the best.
Yeah,
I would rather have a better sounding car than a faster car sometimes.
I do like that your priority was the loudest blow off valve, and you introduced the car by saying that there was a huge hole through the block.
So the turbo is mounted like 2 inches behind the front grille, right? It's like right there, and so it makes a ton of turbo noise.
Nice.
It's mounted in front of the motor, so it's literally grill, radiator, turbo.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. We don't want like something 400 degrees right next to our radiator.
Well, believe it or not, temperature was never the issue with it. There is a reason it never made it onto track.
Sure.
But because I just don't feel like it would survive the way it was built.
Yes.
But, it's fine.
So here's what I think we should challenge ourselves with is, so you've told us about your 6-car fleet.
Yes.
Oh God.
Dave, give me your best strategy for boiling these ingredients down, reducing it into a really good sauce.
Okay.
We've got all the ingredients loosey goosey, and then we're gonna reduce it down to like a solid 2 or 3 car fleet.
Okay.
What parts would you borrow from what things to make an actual functional thing for a family man with bad decision making?
Yeah, that's a great question, Ian. I'm really glad you both came to me with this. So in this line of work, I have to.
Dave's known for his family man lifestyle.
Yeah, I do have to preface that there are going to be some tough decisions made. All right, there are going to be some casualties. All right.
Okay.
Are we FMKing my entire fleet at this point? Is that what's about to happen? Basically?
I'm saying I'm going with my ideas are really bad, so I want to hear Dave's first. But basically, I think there are the pieces, there are the elements here of a good, solid fleet.
Yes.
When you guys are done, I do have a terrible fleet plan that I can go over with you. So we'll see how close we get to. We'll see how close you get to what I would really like to do with the current fleet.
Okay.
First of all, you have to keep the Dodge Omni, period.
That's not going anywhere.
Non-negotiable, right?
Yes.
Yep, that is preserved, right? Until that thing dies from rust, you keep it, right?
Most of them already have. Thankfully, mine's never seen a real winter, and it only has, I think, like 44,000 miles on it or something like that.
Okay, perfect.
So,
right?
Yeah, it's gotta be one of the lower mileage ones.
Seal that in ember, break the glass and get it out whenever you can, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking, honestly, how expensive could it be to fix the Blazer, right? I think you got to fix the Blazer for the time being.
The thing I struggle with is that how much is it worth versus how much is it costing me? But that's fine.
Don't think about how much it's worth. Think about how much you'd have to pay to get the equivalent features, right? How much you'd have to pay to get a whole heap of leather, some heated seats with something that easy to repair, right?
That's true. And
What
It
engine
has
was the
been-
Blazer?
It's the 4.3 liter, the V6.
Yeah, the
It's
V6.
literally, Chevy took a small block Chevy and lopped off the back 2 cylinders and made it a 6-cylinder. It might be the worst motor they ever made because it makes about the same amount of power as most 4-cylinders, but it gets V8 gas mileage.
Right.
Yeah.
But it is stone dead reliable for the
Right.
most part.
Right. So I'm thinking you got to cut your losses with the S10. You know, I hate to tell you, but I think you got to let go. Right. I think you got to sink.
I think I can swing you, but that's fine. We'll let you finish.
Also, get rid of the Ford Focus. What are we doing?
Oh,
here?
yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Okay,
I'm with you on
that's
that one.
money you should be spending on vintage shag carpeting and wallpaper for the RV. Okay,
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
so then I think RV, Omni, and the Blazer.
Okay. You've left me without a good daily for myself because I need one for her and one for him. Right.
You're dailying the RV now.
Oh, okay. Well, with my work schedule, that's not the worst idea you've ever had, honestly.
True.
So,
Right. Yeah. You know, I don't know. Yeah. If you have to get 2 dailies out of the ingredients you listed, I hate to tell you to keep a Focus, but I mean,
over the Cavalier? Automatic Focus, manual Cavalier.
yeah. Do you ever drive your child in the Cavalier?
Today excluded? No.
Yeah, I was gonna say because if it's a factor of whether or not the kid could be in a car like the Focus or the Cavalier, I'm picking the Focus. But
Well, I mean, as Ian is famous for saying, it's not as hard as I am stubborn to put him in the back of that car.
yeah, okay.
You guys, I've got this.
Okay. All right.
All right. So
I like this. Don't ask a question you don't already know the answer to. Is that what you were hitting me with?
Yeah. So unfortunately, I'm also getting rid of the Blazer. However, or I'm not the Blazer, the S10. However, I think you should keep the turbo and put it on the Blazer.
Okay.
And
Sure.
you're going to sell the RV. So you're going to sell the RV and you're going to sell the S10, and that will finance fixing the Blazer and turbocharging the Blazer, which will then become a daily / tow rig for the Omni. And then you will combine somehow. I don't know. That doesn't work.
You're an insane person.
You're gonna sell either the Focus. I think you should sell
insane.
I think you need to
wait.
sell the Cavalier. I think you need to sell the Cavalier, fix the Focus, and so you're selling the S10, the RV, and the Cavalier, and together you will make the Blazer awesome. Maybe a junkyard LS instead. Whatever. That becomes your tow rig / family car. And then you have the Focus and the Omni.
Can you flip the Focus? Can you honestly turn a profit on that car? If you swap the transmission, those transmissions have to be so cheap at the yard.
I mean, it's more that I've put so much time into it that I don't even want to look at it anymore.
Yeah. You got to score a transmission on like one of those $25 days, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Pull it yard.
It's annoyingly it's actually kind of fun to drive.
Yeah, they're not bad. Yeah.
It has like surprisingly good steering feel and stuff like that. Like it's more fun, more engaging to drive than my Cavalier.
Yes.
But it's automatic.
Right.
So that's a problem for me. For the longest time, I'd never owned an automatic vehicle, and only up until recently, that was never a thing for me.
Right.
The Blazer was the first automatic vehicle I've ever purchased, and I bought that just a handful of years ago. So
now that we're drastically wrong on what you should do,
so how
about you tell us? Yeah, give us the plan, man.
It's probably no more wrong than what you've stated. Or no more right for sure. But so Chevy's sometimes is kind of like Lego bricks, right?
Right.
So
definitely.
the engine that's in the S10 is the engine that's in the Cavalier. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
The turbo kit that is in the S10 does not fit in the Cavalier. So pull the motor out of the Cavalier. Oh, also, fifth gear grinds real bad. Like I can't put it into fifth gear in the Cavalier.
Okay.
So the transmission is kind of on its way out.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. I just pretend it's not a problem.
It's not. It's not fine.
It is fine. So I bought it from a mechanic friend of mine, and he told me that he had two transmissions, and the other one grinded into second, and this one grinded into fifth. So it just seemed better that was the one we used.
You can skip first to third.
Nah, man, you use second way more than fifth, right?
Don't you drive on the highway?
A lot. But I found that
just wrapping it in fourth gear.
No, I found that if you so like if I want to do 70, I accelerate to like 73.
Yes, I love these kinds of workarounds.
You push the clutch in, and as the car is decelerating, you kind of just slowly float it in there, and it'll usually pop in without too much noise.
Okay.
So that's my method.
You are the synchro. Okay.
So I'm pulling the motor out of the Cavalier and I'm putting it in the S10. Obviously, we're leaving the turbo kit. That's not going anywhere. But I'm putting that in the S10. I'm getting it running because genuinely, my favorite daily I've ever owned of anything I've ever owned. Truck? That S10. I've had multiple people have offered me money, and I'm like, there's literally any other car in the driveway is for sale. That one's not going anywhere.
If anybody listening hasn't experienced this, if you own a mini truck or you own like a smaller truck, it is inevitable that someone will straight up offer to buy it from you. Just a stranger walking up to you at a parking lot, gas station. I grew up, I had two Nissan mini trucks in a row, right? An 88 and a 94.
Right.
I've had people offer me cash for them, I don't know, at least 6 or 7 times. It's just something that happens when you have small trucks.
My neighbor, who I lived next to for like 6 years and had never said a word to, when he realized that S10 was not, he's a car guy. He's 2 or 3 houses down. He's very much the like, man, I don't know if I should say this. It's kind of mean. He's very much the boomer car guy, right?
Sure.
And I get it. I love those cars. Don't get me wrong. I spent my whole life growing up with them. My dad is very much that hot rod, muscle car, drag racing person. But I've never really talked to this guy because I just felt like he wasn't going to understand what I do with cars. When he realized that clearly was not going anywhere anymore, he tried to buy it from me. That was the first contact we had ever made, living basically next door. He's 2 houses over.
Right.
Drives a C4 Corvette as a daily. Love that thing. And he always has like some hot rod project he's working on, and then his obnoxious Harley that I don't like.
Right.
But but yeah, that's exactly what it was. And then even listeners have offered to buy it from me.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think it's a pity purchase because they're trying to get money in my pocket, so I'll fix the Omni, because that's kind of been like the long running theme in the podcast is how can we finally talk Adam into fixing the thing?
Okay.
But so
that's your white whale, if you will.
Yeah. So swap the motors swap the motor into the S10, scrap the Cavalier.
Okay.
The Focus is also going to the scrapyard.
Okay.
Probably because it's probably not worth saving or trying to sell to somebody else these days. Obviously, the Omni's never going anywhere, and I would prefer that the Blazer be a minivan.
Okay.
So that's my shortest term goal. I don't know that I'm going to swap the motor. I have the motor that's in the truck that has a good head on it, and I have another motor, another 2.2, sitting in my garage that has a good block, but the head has been shaved enough that I can't do it again. There's a story behind that. We don't need to get into it.
We don't have enough time to get into the car parts you have. We barely have enough time to get into the cars you own.
So my goal is to rebuild that motor and put the S10 back together.
Here's the fatal flaw with this plan is that you don't have a kid transportation backup, right? So
says the guy that owned a Saab Turbo X.
Right, but my dumb car has a back seat.
It does. I'm saying the Saab could not be your back.
Right. Yeah, it's not a crew cab, right? So you're kind of, when the Blazer / replacement minivan breaks down on top of a exit ramp again.
Yeah, Pappy's coming in the RV to pick him up. Yeah,
I like to live my life very dangerously.
What do your wife and child like to live their lives dangerously as well?
Actually, my kid might be the largest chicken on the planet. He's supremely cautious on anything he does. And I think my wife is Stockholm syndromed into just letting me do my thing. Right. Which I'm sure Ian can relate to at some level.
Yes, I can. However, I have a kid who's very who's also cautious, but also very interested in the rules. And so if I tried to stick him in the front seat of any car, he would be like, "This is not allowed," and he would refuse to get in.
I don't know if I should tell this story, but I'm going to do it anyway. Earlier this year, we had the most insane windstorm ever roll through the Midwest, right through where I live. And it was Chicago is a 6-hour drive east of me, right? And the same tree that knocked over 15 miles of power line and fiber that I spent months repairing and fixing, and the same storm that knocked over trees in my front yard also knocked a tree over on a friend's house in Chicago. That's how insane that storm was. And they had measured speeds of 145 miles an hour, straight line winds. Craziness, right? And so that week, my job, I basically slept 2 or 3 hours at a time and was just at work, right? And for a day or so of that, my wife ended up in the hospital with a kidney infection, and my son came to work with me. And so I threw the baby seat in the front seat of my his car seat in the front seat of my Cavalier, and we went to work.
Yeah.
You
gotta do what you gotta do, right?
So yeah, it was fine. He enjoyed it. He loved it. He thought it was great. So it's fine. We're not much for rules around here. It's fine.
Okay.
A lot happens out on the plains, man.
If you don't explain the rules to your kid, he can't use them against you.
There you go.
I know.
It's really your own fault.
I've been caught out by that so many times. You have no idea.
Ian,
I think yes, this is a good transition. I think to FMK cars that I have written for you, Adam. FMK cars, Dave. You want to?
FMK Cars is the game that we play on the show. This time we're playing it with Adam. It's based on the classic game of Fuck, Marry, Kill, but we don't play it with people. We play it with cars because we're not disgusting.
Correct.
I'm going to buy that.
We're disgusting, but for other reasons.
I've been playing this game by myself for years. Every Friday morning. I'm very excited.
Okay. All right. So this one is called, and you even get a long title.
Excellent.
They called him Old Tenny Tennyson the 10th. These are 10th generation cars with a tenor twist.
Okay.
Good premise.
10th gen Civics. There's a 10th gen Civic.
Just be patient.
Yeah, calm down.
I think of other cars that have made the 10th gen. That's a lot of gens.
There are not many.
Yeah.
No, I can't imagine.
There are not many. All right. So the first one, 10th generation Ford F-150. So this is going to be the 90, what is it? 96 to 90 or to 2004, 97 to 2004.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You can spec it any way you like, except it may not be a Lightning.
He's already seen through my plan.
I knew exactly where you're going to do. You must load at the beginning of your trip and then unload at the end of your trip 10 sheets of plywood in the back.
Okay.
All right.
So
Which are like
they're gonna be
$53 a
stacked up.
sheet now.
And
Yeah.
you're going to load them in. And then when you get out, you got to unload them.
Okay.
Okay.
Hauling some 4x8s, man. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right. Next one, 10th generation Civic.
Okay.
So this is gonna be, what years of this? This is the current one, essentially.
Okay.
2016
Yes.
and up.
Yes.
You're gonna get a sedan with the 2-liter and a manual. You get a manual. I'm gonna give you the 6
He's
speed.
refining. He's limiting me to the 2-liter, which means I don't get the Type R
Correct, or the SI.
or the SI. Oh,
Yeah.
son of a-
It's
'Cause
not
you're
like
getting
there
the
aren't
sedan.
any mods for Civics. I mean, come on.
Right. This one, the twist is a little unfortunate. You must eat 10 peeps during every drive.
it's less unfortunate than you think. For me,
Okay, all right.
10 marshmallow peeps? What about 10 Cadbury eggs?
No, 10 marshmallow peeps.
It's got to be peeps, okay.
Got to be peeps. I mean, I don't make the rules. I mean, it's
you
Don't
do.
you,
just show
though?
up
You,
in it.
you do, though. You do,
These
though.
just show up in the notepad. I don't
Yeah.
actually do anything.
okay.
I go over to Ian's house at night and type him into his unsaved notepad document.
Yeah. All right. So the last one is a 10th generation Chevy Suburban.
Yeah, they would be that far, wouldn't they?
Yeah. So this is like 2006 to 2013, 2007
Yeah.
to 2014. Sorry. I'm going to cheat on your behalf and
That's
let you
unfortunate.
have the 6.2 GMC Yukon XL
Okay.
because that's
Okay.
basically it's the same thing as the
It's
thing.
the
but
same thing.
You
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
get the 6.2 in the Suburban. So I'm going to give you
Nope.
the nice one, right? Here's the thing. And you can do any performance mod you want.
Okay. Okay.
You and Robbie must record an episode during every journey. Also, there are 10 loose parakeets in the car.
So our audio quality is going to suffer. Gotcha.
And you're probably going to get
Gosh.
Now, as a someone who's been having a podcast for over 5 years, right?
Yeah. We're just over that mark.
Sometimes when you have to record a show, right? It's different than when you get to record a show,
Yep.
right?
What are you saying, Dave? What are you telling me right now?
I'm saying the
In
magic
front of
is
guys.
gone.
You
I'm
can't
sure
wait.
it's always a pleasure. Gosh.
So you have to record a show.
Dave, we have company.
Not in front of the guests. Like do that through the teeth talk. Not in front of my mother. Because
Maybe
when
we
you
could
talk like
about
this,
later.
no one else can hear it.
Ian's having flashbacks to last week when he was out with his child.
Yeah. Put it down. Stop rubbing
Been
that
there.
baby's head.
And there.
Okay. All right.
Okay. I think this is easier than it should be for me. So I'm killing the F-150 because I just
Okay.
don't. Despite it being the right generation of car for me, apparently it's the wrong make.
Wait,
Okay.
are you mad that they were made in Missouri, where I'm from? Come on, man.
I mean, I feel like some of my GMs probably were too.
Probably. Yeah.
So
Pontiac Grand Prix were. Yeah.
nice. So I think I'm gonna marry the Civic.
Okay.
I don't hate peeps. 10 peeps is a lot of peeps every
Yeah.
time I
I
drive
was going
my
to say that
car.
170-ish is going to be more ish.
70-ish.
Yeah.
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 There's
It's fine.
ish squared. Yeah.
I keep telling myself I'm going to start running again. I used to do that a lot. I keep telling myself I'm going to. Maybe it's time to start.
I have that. Same
Maybe
conversation.
that'll be the push that I need.
Okay.
Maybe that will help me.
Okay.
Can you
Probably.
outrun 10 peeps? I don't know if you can outrun 10 peeps.
Is it 10 peeps a day or 10 peeps a trip?
A trip.
Oof. I mean,
So if you just go to work and back, that's 20 peeps. That's math.
What if
You're not wrong.
you never get out of the car?
Oh.
if I am closer to my house than I am to the shop, I just take my truck home. So
Sure.
You know, like 2 or 3 days a week, I don't even drive my car, so it'll be fine. It'll be all right.
Okay.
I still like. There's a lot of Peep flavors to keep me interested. They all taste basically the same, but it's fine.
Yeah.
I saw a cotton candy one recently, which I can't imagine tastes any different than sugar.
Right.
Which
Exactly.
is what a Peep is. But hey,
I love that you're not
Peep.
only have I never met anyone who is a Lambo Doran evangelist, but I've also never met anyone who was like this enthusiastic about Peeps. And I did not know this about you.
I don't hate them.
Full disclosure, I don't mind a slightly stale Peep.
I knew this about you, Dave, but you will like anything that is just sugar.
Well, yeah, but it gets a little crunchy.
If you posted if you offered me a box of Peeps or a bag of taffy, I think I'd probably take the Peeps. So
Ooh.
I know it's an unpopular opinion here, but it's probably what I do.
Oh, I forgot to record the episode, so I guess this one's lost.
I mean, it is what it is.
So okay, so you're rushing the F-150.
Yes, and that means I'm taking this. Robbie and I are recording a show with a parakeet background, which will be extra great for my listening masses because one of the longest running jokes in our show is birds aren't real.
Okay.
Have you heard the conspiracy theory?
No.
Are you aware of this?
No. I have heard of it. It's
the government at some point in time. Sometime around the Kennedy administration, the Kennedy assassination, if you will, had replaced all of the birds with robots, with drones. Birdsaren'treal.com. If you're if you really want to ruin your search history, you can buy shirts. I have more than one fan who has. Wow. My favorite line that these guys use is, "You've never seen a baby pigeon."
Wait a second. Hang on. I have something for this. I have something.
You know that there's my child watches a show where they explain why you've never seen a baby pigeon.
It's because they're government drones.
It's because they are in the wild, doves and stuff, they're like cliff dwelling birds. So they hide their nests. So they're like up. They're like always tucked in up under overpasses and stuff.
Oh, jeez. This is government planted just like Australia, Dave. This is not proof that birds are real.
Okay.
Just like the world is flat and Australia is not a thing.
Well, let's watch the Eagle Cam. Let's watch this government drone time lapse from today then. Yeah.
I love the idea that there are robots that catch and devour fish.
Yeah, also robots that shit.
Well, they have to maintain a level of realism. I mean, or else we might see through their dastardly plans.
That's how we'll sell it, right? Watkins, if you finished that shitting module yet for the drone? Oh, we're all over it, sir.
But okay, so I'm about to ask a question about conspiracy theory, which I know is foolhardy, but like honestly,
yeah. I want to preface whatever question you're asking with, I don't believe these things.
There we go. Thank you.
I assumed not. I mean,
okay. But we're on the same page then. Continue.
What having I'm assuming researched it a little bit at least. What is the why? Why would birds not be real? Like, why would the government go through the trouble of replacing all of the birds with robots? What's the plan?
So you're asking me to bring up a memory from a show that was many moons ago, but we did like cover this at some point. We actually, we
went in deep, huh?
You think you guys go on tangents? We were on their website, and if I remember correctly, they were the FBI or the CIA or whatever was hatched this plan.
They hatched it.
They hatched it.
They did.
The flat Earth enthusiast came from around the globe.
I am a dad. What do you want from me?
Oh my god! I just saw the picture.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, dude. And so they were going to use these to spy on Americans, right? Because that's what the government does, especially when you're a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, 30 years later, Steve Jobs invites the iPhone. And they're like, "Son of a bitch!"
Yeah. So that's my favorite hole in many, many conspiracy theories about the government watching us.
Right.
But gosh, so the FBI or the CRA or whoever it was presented this to Kennedy, and he was not for it. You know where this is going. So they killed him. Oh my God. They shut him down because I don't even remember who was after him. Whoever came after him was
Eisenhower.
pro birds aren't real. Right. And so they needed to get him out of the way so they could turn. And I guess the story is that they slowly did it like in waves. They would capture birds and release a drone, like a 1-to-1 ratio. And so birds aren't real.
I love this plan. I love this plan for so many reasons. Because first of all, just the amount of resources it would take.
To
do something like this is just unbelievable.
Right. But then the amount of thought they've put into the bird, so that's why they sit on power lines. They're recharging.
Oh, right. I also love the idea that my favorite part about this is that it's a surveillance technology that really can't be defeated because they're ubiquitous. The only way you can escape this huge dragnet of surveillance is to go inside.
That is, unless you have 10 parakeets flying around you while you're trying to record a podcast. I mean,
I do like how this definitely couldn't be debunked by anyone with a 12 gauge and a little bit of free time.
They're just that good a drone.
That drone is delicious. I had Peking drone the other night. It was so good.
That's why chickens are raised in farms. They don't make free range chickens. I'm just saying. They're all, factory farms. They're
boy,
all freaks of nature too.
Oh wow. Okay.
This has been an education.
This has been a great place to find an off ramp.
I think so. Well, let's wrap up with a bird that is all too real. And Dave, if you look in the Dave Don't Look folder.
Oh, geez. Look at that transition. What mastery.
Wow. Ian, the segue king.
Look at that.
Okay. All right. So, Adam.
I like that, Adam. It took you like a minute to.
I'm with you, though. I'm following.
Adam,
so we went from birds that aren't real to a bird that is just all too real.
I brought along a car stanza because it's one of my favorite things.
Yeah, car stanzas.
In existence is people doing these silly, stupid things.
Right.
So I came.
Go ahead. You go.
Okay, so I came across this. It's a Ford Escort.
Maroon.
Who knows what? Yeah, it's
ZX2.
Yes, it is the ZX2.
Or as I like to say, the ZX Deuce.
No, it's the Zooks 2.
No, I like that. I like ZX Deuce. That's good.
Sound more regal.
Any car name with Deuce in it is good. Yeah.
Anytime I see a Sportage, it's Sportage. So
yeah, there
thank
you
you
go.
for that one. That's still a thing in my head, unfortunately.
I hope that we've ruined that for a lot of people.
Turns out Ian's not real either. He's a government drone designed to implant insane thoughts into your head.
We have a joke about a listener for that too, but it doesn't need to be. It's fine. We have an FBI handler on the show. It's fine. But so someone has this Escort, and they put the to me very precious. I'm a huge Pontiac fan. Pontiac is in my blood. It's in my DNA. They put the Pontiac Fire Chicken on this Ford Escort. There is no greater sin that you could do than to mix these two things.
Would you consider the Kia with the BMW grill that I saw that literally haunted my dreams that night?
Well,
less than this?
Because I've never seen it with my own eyes. Yes. absolutely. For me personally, I think this is my Kia.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay.
Because it's really obscene. I sent it to my dad, who is truly the biggest. Like, when the day that GM killed Pontiac was the day that GM no longer existed to my dad.
Okay.
Like, now my mom is in a Lincoln. Excuse me. My mom's in a Lincoln now. He still does drive GM pickups because he likes them better than Fords. But yeah, it was a big deal in my family. It was a huge, tragic loss.
Okay.
Tears were shed. I'm certain of it.
A line was crossed.
Yeah, that they can't come back from. So it's. I mean, it's not as atrocious as it could be because it's not that big.
I like that they were working with a budget, so they got like, or like.
I mean, it's not even as big as it is on Pontiacs, right? It's not like
it's like maybe a foot and a half by a foot and a half. Yeah,
it's not like this guy works at a body shop,
right?
And they had a Firebird come in, and they ended up with an extra hood decal, and they were like, "This would be funny, right? Let's put this on my beater Escort. Yeah, let's do that." No, so this person bought this with the expressed purpose of putting that on their car,
right?
Which makes no sense to me.
I endorse this full.
No.
I think this is amazing because here's the difference between the Kia BMW. They're trying to fool people. That person legitimately thinks they're trying to fool someone into thinking they have a better car than they do.
Right. That's up badging.
Yes. This is trolling. This is just straight up for the lulz trolling. I think it's
but it's upsetting me. Crosses a line for me personally. If it was I mean, I can't even think of anything that's comparable but not Pontiac, but that would be less egregious to me then, for sure.
It's like if I swapped Volvo badges onto my Saab Viggen, right? It's like,
yeah, I can see that.
Right? It's just kind of trolly, like Swedish car for Swedish car.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
I think it's pretty funny.
And I do like that it's sensible trolling because they're like, I'm going to spend $18 on this. I'm not spending $35, right? We're going single color. We're going smaller decal, right? I mean, come on. I'm not a fucking maniac.
I just don't why spend any money?
They should be getting a new set of headlights with all that humidity in there.
Yeah, you're not wrong there.
Yeah.
I mean, but, these cars are awful. So I feel like any sort of anything you put on it is probably an improvement. But
yeah, a friend of mine had one of these in high school, and we had it airborne more than once.
My sister had one, and she also had it airborne many times.
Really?
She probably did, but did she do it on purpose?
Oh yeah, train tracks.
Oh okay.
Yeah.
Oh okay, that's fair. Yeah. Your sister sounds like fun. That would be great.
Yeah, she's right. Yeah.
Not very many girls I know would purposely launch a car into the air. That's fantastic.
Yeah, poor decision making is congenital.
It runs deep in the family. I like it. I like it very much.
Nice. Well done. Well, thank you for capturing this.
Yeah, congenital bad decision making has been sort of a theme tonight.
Yeah.
I hope that I am able to pass this on to my youth.
Yes,
so
I'm sure he's already affected.
His grandfather was kind of hoping for the sports kid because he didn't get that. Mm-hmm, right.
Sure.
Her dad, not mine. Mine's proud of not having that. But I was like, Katie's like, he might, we can't write that off. I'm like, yeah, we can. And I was like, he doesn't know what a football is, but he can identify a Corvette. What do you want from me?
Yeah. Yeah. We have a similar situation over here.
Yeah.
Well, Adam, where can the good folks find you? Where can they find 1010s?
We're 1010s podcast everywhere. Any listening app that you can download. We're on YouTube. 1010s podcasts on Instagram is probably our most active spot. We have a hugely popular group on Facebook, the 1010s Consortium.
Ah, nice.
so for a while there, Facebook was really pushing groups, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we opened a group, and for some reason, all the insane people that listen to my show thought that sounded like a great idea, and we're pushing like 500 people in the group. It's kind of silly.
Nice.
It's hugely active, and anybody who wants to join it is more than welcome to. It's mostly just people trolling me and sending me things they think I should buy. But yeah, it's always a good time. You can find us there. That's mostly where we're active on Facebook, not on the page itself, because Facebook doesn't want to give you any reach these days.
Yep.
Hi, I'm going to join your group.
Please do.
Please
do. Yes, it is. It is approval only, because we didn't want like just weird random bots in there.
Yeah, you don't want any birds joining.
Right. Yeah. we gotta keep an eye on those things, So
okay, all right.
So,
well,
yeah, that's
hopefully someday again we will eat barbecue again together, because that's the last time we were in the same physical space, when we were on our way to Wisconsin to Road America.
So there is a picture of me in your Sienna, if I remember correctly.
It was a Nissan Quest.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a Quest. Yeah. Well, then I've been doing that wrong the whole time. It's fine. Smiling ear to ear and enjoying myself, because for a long time there was a huge witch hunt for proving that at some point I had said I would never, ever, ever drive a minivan.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Which was proven not to be real, and a fan doctored audio to try and prove that it was, because that's the kind of people that listen to my show.
Right.
But that picture has been used against me many, many, many times.
Well,
glad we could be a part of that.
Yeah. That's probably the least negative circumstance that could come out of meeting us in person. Yeah.
So,
all right. Well, thank you, Adam, so much for coming on tonight. This has been a long time coming, as we said.
Way too long.
So hopefully we can return the favor, and maybe we can come on and ruin your show for a little while.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Dave, if people enjoyed this, what should they do?
Yeah, they should definitely go to Birds Aren't Real. No. They should definitely go to apexadjacent.com. They should follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and please subscribe and leave us an iTunes review. I just checked. I haven't seen any new ones for a while. Hey, give us a review.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm so jealous of your 1-star review.
Yeah.
Because we have one, but he didn't leave any words of wisdom, and I am endlessly jealous.
Yeah, we have one blank 1-star review, and then this guy that called us woke snowflakes. Yeah.
Woke flakes. I'm not gonna lie, I read it on my phone while I was laying in bed, and I gasped with joy and woke up my wife because I was so excited.
Yep.
We made fun of Alex Jones one day, and somebody did leave a terrible review and said he would never listen to the show again, but he left a 3-star rating. So
he's like, fuck these guys, but the audio quality's good.
So,
well, you probably united on the Birds Aren't Real thing. So,
Yeah.
Okay. Fine. Yeah. Right.
Good night, everybody. Thank you. We love you. Goodbye.